At the end of this video, I wanna make you feel empowered and feel like you can actually recreate any website out there. So the first step that we're gonna take here is we're gonna look at Vuori. Vuori is a California-based company and they are absolutely killing it. We did a quick search on trends on Google to figure out if Lululemon or Vuori was bigger. Vuori is getting way more search results than Lululemon right now. People are actually wanting to know more about this brand, and I think they're absolutely killing it in the athletic, sports, athleisure segment of clothing brands out there. As you can see, their website overall is pretty simple. It still has just a few things here and there that I don't think we're necessarily be able to fully do, but some of the main things here we can definitely achieve through Shopify. So what I want to do in this video really is go step by step and give you the details on how I would recreate this using Shopify. I do want to keep some of the same DNA. So the first thing that I did was go straight into researching the theme. So with themes, and I talk about this often, you need to be able to install the theme trials and check them out for yourself to see what's actually available, right? From the ones I probably looked at 5 or 6 different themes, none of them really had this feature right here that, and I guess I would just preface with this, they didn't have a lot of the other features in combination with this feature right here. It's like when you hover over a product, it actually gives you the sizing that's available for that particular product, which I think it's absolutely genius. And I love that feature, but I couldn't find it natively with an actual theme that still, had some of the same DNA. Something else that I was wanting to make sure that I got was this mega menu look. Just want to make sure that I was able to fit all of these different links. So whenever you're making your website, right? Whenever you're thinking about your brand, this is something that I want you to do early on. Before you look at themes, before you look at anything, I want you to look at your product and I want you to look at how you categorize your product, because that's going to dictate whether you're going to do a mega menu like this or if you're going to have just more drop downs at the very top. It really helps to know all this information up front. Something else that I also implore you to think about is what type of product information you're going to have on your store. Right now, for this particular product, we have 6 photos. So just keep that in mind. We have 6 photos for this product. We have 7 different colors in here. We have size selectors in here. We also talk about the fit. We talk about fabric and care. We talk about product features. And then we have the actual product description here. So information like this and the way that is broken down here is, again, something that I want you to think about before you even add products to your store. So this is why we're kind of going through the Vuori site and just seeing how they're being able to achieve some of these things, or what type of information, right, they have available right here. And again, if you're building your own store, you need to have all these things in place first before you go into actually searching for a theme or anything like that. That's part of the process of what we did, right? We looked at some of the information that they have here and some of the things that we'll definitely want to carry over to this new theme. So mega menu, some additional information within the product page, and seeing if there's any availability, I would say, for that sizing selector, which we couldn't find. But besides all that, this theme is actually pretty simple, pretty straightforward. There's really not a whole lot of craziness happening here. I would say it's pretty minimalistic in terms of how it looks. With all that being said, we did have a couple of themes that we installed, and I will show you the other option that I was like on the fence and why I chose Essence over the other one. So if we go ahead and install, like we're gonna do try theme, and I'm gonna install this in the back end. So the other theme, while this actually loads, the other thing was Select. Now I'm gonna go and open that in a new tab so I can show you how that looked. And this is why to me it's very important to include these theme trials, because you're actually able to, you can add the logo. So I've added the logo in here. I put some products in here, not related to Vuori, but added some products. So you can start playing around with some of the sections to truly know and feel how this theme will behave with certain things. So I added the video that they have right there on the homepage hero, and just to see if this is a possibility, right, within this theme. And to be honest, like this, it looks very similar, right? The fonts, the way that it just kind of handles itself. If we put this video, let me put this video banner all the way to the top over here. See Vuori, you see that? And then let's go back over here to this homepage. See, you kind of see that. You kind of get a sense for, okay, yeah, that starting to look kind of similar there. And that's the beauty of it. A lot of themes really handle some of the same sections. So recreating something like Vuori should be pretty straightforward. Now, this is the thing that we didn't select which is called select. This is funny. The biggest thing that we were not able to do with select was that mega menu. So at a glance here, actually let me go full screen so you can see the menu here didn't really drop down like that mega menu on their current site. So that's the reason why we chose Essence. Essence actually had the ability to do that. Now, before we jump into this, I do want to do a little bit of back-end work, right? We talked about you need to make sure that you have your product information. We need to make sure that you have your collection information. So in terms of product information, I've added just a few products in here. You'll probably see some items here from other videos that we've made in the past, but we have the short in here, and let me just add a vendor of worry so we can kind of keep track. So we have the shorts in here, and then we also had some of the Sunday performance joggers in here. And again, I'm going to change the vendor so we can keep track of them a little bit better. Now, something that again Worry is doing on the actual product page is having those drop downs with some of this additional information. The only way that you can achieve this is by having this information in the backend as an individual meta field. So we're gonna go ahead and create that for these products so that we can actually recreate something similar to this. As you can see, we have the product description right within here, which these icons, it's possible, but with the timing of this video, we're not necessarily gonna jump into this, but this is possible with a little bit of custom coding and having it just the way that they have it. But for now, we're just gonna grab this product description here. And I believe I already have the description. Let me go back to, let me save this. Let me go back to the short. Okay, so yeah, I do have the description right within here. Now, the other information that I'm missing would be the fit, fabric care, and product features. Now, these three are going to be unique for each product page. So if we see the fit here, this information here is going to be different than, for example, the daily leggings here, right? So that information is going to be unique for each product. So we'll have to for sure make a meta field in order to fill in that information. So as you can see, we scroll down here at the bottom, we have a bunch of meta fields that we've created in the past, but they're not necessarily related to this particular project or what we're doing right now. So for you and your store, this will look pretty much empty. Now, in order to create a meta field, we'll have to go to settings and we'll have to go to custom data. In here, you'll go to your actual products and then you'll add a definition. So the first one that we want to make is fit. And then at a glance, the type of content that will go in here under fit, it's just going to be text. It's going to be multi-line text right here. I'm just going to copy this. So we're going to need it here in a second. So the type of meta field that this will be that multi-line text, because we want to be able to break it down into multiple lines. There's also an option to do a rich text, which could be also something beneficial depending on how the actual theme handles it. For now, let's do multi-line text, and then we'll go ahead and test it with the theme to make sure that this one will actually work correctly. So we have the fit, we have the multi-line text set up, everything else here looks good. We're gonna go click and save that. Now let's go back to our product page here. And as you can see, towards the very top, we have the fit, and then we're going to paste that information right within here. Click save. And then just as a test, so that we don't waste a whole lot of time, I need to go back to the theme and see how the theme actually handles these meta fields, these additional meta fields. So let's go to the Essence theme, which is this one, the trial. We're gonna go to our product page, default product page. And then within here, we have product details. Let's see if we can add it over here. Collapsible content. Let's type in fit. And then, so as you can see, this text that's right here, if I were to paste the text right here within this field, this will be the exact same text for every single product. And what we want is something dynamic, something that changes depending on the product. And that's why we created those meta fields. So instead of typing it here, we're gonna leave that blank, and we're gonna click here to connect a dynamic source. And then as you can see, we have the fit right here. So as you can see, that right there means that it's a dynamic source. So it's gonna be different for every product. Now, because this particular product that we have previewed, the Fresh Prince design, doesn't have the fit set up in the backend, it's not gonna show. But if we change this product to the short, now we see the drop down right here for the fit. Perfect. So that looks like it's going to work pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and click save on that. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, in the backend very quickly, recreate the rest of the drop downs. So the fabric and care and the product features. All right, and there we have it. Now, again, one of the reasons why I tell people to make sure that you have your product description, your images, all the product info selected before and broke down ahead of time is so that this process will become a lot easier. You'll know exactly what meta fields you'll have to create. You'll have an idea. It's kind of weird because you have to know what the theme will look like, but you also have to work a little bit towards the actual content that will go in there. So I would say it's a hand in hand, needing to know the actual content and needing to know the capabilities of the actual theme that you're going to select. So having that information up front is great because now we know that we can actually build that. So now that we have the product information in place, the other thing that we talked about was creating the actual collections, right, in the navigation. Again, this would be, to me, step number 2. Step number 1, all the product information inside of Shopify with the correct meta fields in place. Step number 2, now that you have all these products in place, now you can actually create collections. And then from these collections, that's where we can actually go in and create the navigation. So to me, this organization is crucial before you actually get started into the actual design of the store. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to create just one collection. So let's go back to the homepage here and just see what we have. So this is a collection list, and then we have a new arrival. So we have a very general new arrivals. It shows, I think, both men and women. So what we can do is we can just do that. We can do a very simple new arrival. So we can create a new collection, call it new arrivals. Typically for new arrival collections, I like to do them for them to be automated. That way, any product that I add in the back end, this will be automatically done. So I don't have to come back over here and worry about moving products around. So this new arrivals collection here, the way that I usually do this is I do price is greater than $1. So that means that any product that I add in here that is greater than $1 will immediately land on this new arrivals page. And as you can see, we have the 2 products that we've added here that are Vuori products. The jogger and the shorts are right here towards the top of this collection. Technically, what you need to do here is sort this by newest. So that's really the way to get this as a new arrivals, is that you set it up as price is greater than 1, and then on the sorting, you want to set the default as newest, and this will give you the newest arrivals. Now, again, this is a very time-consuming process, right? But you'll basically have to create, in essence, all these links up here are going to be different collections that have been created in the backend. As you can see, we have leggings, joggers, pants, and then this is both for both men and women. So for something like this, and just to kind of give you a little golden nugget here, you can make, as you can see here, the navigation, it says joggers over here, but we know that it's for women's joggers because it's under women's, but under men's, we have the same word, just joggers in here. In the backend for your store, you'll definitely want to, let me just open this from here. If we go to like the men's jogger, again, you see that the word jogger is right there, but on the actual name of the collection, it's actually men's joggers. So that's the way that I would do it in the backend. And just to kind of give you an example, a different example, right? Besides new arrivals, if we were to do men's joggers, be this, you can still do this as an automated collection instead of a manual collection. It will probably require sort of a multi-step, depending on how you, again, handle the product information in the backend. And that's why it's so crucial to get the product information in place first, because then things like these will sort of just flow a little bit easier. Right now, I'm not entirely sure, how or what type of information we have in the backend for these products. So it's going to be a little bit hard, but for something like this, I'll probably do a combination of product type and maybe tag. So we know exactly, these products will exactly be the ones in here. So as an example, let's just say that all the joggers have product type equals to jogger. Okay. And then in order for it to just be the men's, let's say that for all my products, I have a tag that equals to men, right? And that means that as long as the tag is in place and the product type is jogger, then they will automatically land on this particular collection, which is exactly what I want to happen. Click save on that. That's essentially the process that you will have to do. You will have to create all the collections first and then worry about the actual navigation later. Now, let's say that we've already created all the collections in here. The next step for me would be to go to online store and to go to navigation. Out of the gate, I believe Shopify gives you a few options already in terms of menus. You can create unlimited menus, but you can create the menus and not necessarily use them right away. Or if you have some kind of sale and you're trying to, switch out menus, like you can do a lot of different things with the menu. So you can create them and not even link them to your theme and just have them just sit here, collect dust. That's perfectly fine. But as you can see, I created a Vuori nav already in here just so I can, keep track of it. But let's go ahead and create a new one. All you have to do is add menu, and then in here we can call it main menu. I'm just going to call it main menu 3. I don't know how many main menus I had, but I'm just going to call it main menu 3 for internal purposes. This really doesn't affect anything in the front end of your store. And then really what we want to do here is start adding some of the menu items. So as you can see from Vuori, they keep it very simple: woman, men's, and community. But again, they do have that mega menu right in here. So woman, men, community, we can go in with the first one, woman. Now in here, this is where you will go to your collections. And if you already have all your collections set up, then it's just a matter of finding women's products, right? And then just clicking on women's product, and then it will showcase all the women's products for everything here. So just add in that collection with navigation link in here. And this is what I say, that the name of the collection doesn't really matter too much in terms of the navigation, because in terms of the navigation, we can come up with our own unique name versus this collection is actually named homepage. But here in the naming convention that will show up on the website, it will be just woman. Now let me add just a couple more items in here so you know exactly how to make a mega menu or nest multiple items in. So as we have women in here, we have featured and then new arrivals. So let's go ahead and do those. So we do featured, and then for now, I'm just gonna do this hashtag. This hashtag just opens up the home page or the same page that you're in, just as an example, but here you definitely want to make sure that you tag your collection. So what we can do is we can grab it and then we can indent it. And as you can see now it's under woman. We can open that up, and then we can even add a new one in here, call it new arrivals. This is going to be the new arrivals for women if we had already created that particular collection. Now this will be also indented inside of featured, because you got to think about, we have women's at the very top, then we have featured, then we have tops, then we have bottoms, then we have accessories, and then inside of these categories then we have multiple links combined right within. So we have that one featured. Let me do the next one, which was tops. Let's do tops, do bottom, then let me just add just one. Let's do tanks and leggings. Okay, so now we have an example of what the mega menu could look like here. And again, this is one of those things where you want to do before you actually play around with the theme, or maybe in conjunction, right? But you definitely want to have this set up so that then I can go back to the theme. So we're here on Essence and the theme trial. We can look at, so you see right now we have a different menu up here. So what we can do is we can switch this up by going to our header, and then you'll see it's default logo, navigation. So our main menu here, we need to change this, and let's do main menu 3. Let's click save on that. And again, my screen is not that big, so it kind of defaulted to the mobile. So I have to kind of switch it to full screen here in order to see the menu. Now, something about this theme is that this right here is not considered a mega menu. So you can see like we have multiple drop downs and multiple things going on here, which it could be just a lot more steps for the customer, right? So we definitely don't want this experience of these drop downs in here. And again, this is one of those things where you don't truly get to experience this until you're actually in it, seeing it for the first hand. Now, something that this theme does allow though is for you to switch that to a mega menu. So if we go here within the header, we can actually add the mega menu right here. So we can actually click on here. And this is something that not every single theme has. So you just gotta be paying attention to these little details and intricacies within the theme. So let me save that and show you how that looks different. So you can see now is a full mega menu, right? We have a full drop down, and then all the links will be essentially displayed right within here. So this will be a lot nicer for the customers to be able to at a glance see and select the collection that they want to see. Okay, now that we have product information, collections, navigation built out, these, again, this is to me the pillar of duplicating or being able to create your own store. And really what we're recreating Vori here, but you're really learning how to create your own store here. So let's jump into the actual theme and let's see what things we can change and manipulate here to make it match the look and feel of this theme over here. Something that I see right away and something that I talk about a lot is the font. The typography that you use on the theme can completely change a theme altogether. So as you can see right here, this is just a very simple sans serif font that they're using. It almost looks like they may be using the system fonts, which is something that I kind of recommend because it tends to load a lot faster. So if we go to settings here and we go to typography, you see that the default for the theme, for this theme, is enter extra bold. So it gives it that kind of like, yeah, bold look overall because we're using that really thick font. But if we change this out and we do the system fonts, which again, system fonts load faster because your users more than likely already have these fonts installed in their computers. So their computers don't have to download enter bold font in order for it to load on your site. So something like this could be beneficial and could make the site load a lot faster. So just changing the font, let me click save on that. So just changing the font just really transformed this site a little bit, right? It looks a little bit more like Vori right now. So let's go ahead and add the logo here. So right now it's like a default logo. Let's remove that, and we have the logo in here. So I just basically dragged and dropped from my computer into here. It looks like theirs is a lot smaller. So let's go ahead and maybe put like a 120 for now. Okay, maybe 115, 112, sure, 112. I don't know why I did that. So we have that. Okay, that looks good. And then it looks like they have an announcement bar underneath the actual navigation. Kind of interesting. So I believe we can just move the announcement bar from the top and move it down there. So you can see, oh, let me see this promotion bar actually. Oh, this may work. So that's just white. So let's do white. Let's hide this announcement bar for now, but this promotion bar into the blue shop swim. So that should be pretty straightforward. Then we can have a link. We'll just leave it at that. Text, let's do small, section, small. Okay, beautiful. Again, not exactly the same, but it looks pretty good. Actually, they have that faint line right here separating the two. Is that something that this theme gives us the option to? Okay, so it doesn't look like it gives us the option. Again, those cosmetic things, if we truly wanted to one-for-one recreate it, it's something that we can do very easily, which is just some custom CSS. Now, let's go into the slideshow. I think we can use the slideshow. A lot of times you can use a slideshow, but only have one slide, and it still gives you all the juicy benefits of the slideshow, right? Well, like it may have some settings in here that, let's just say a typical hero banner may not. So let's go ahead and get started adding the information to this hero block here. So we have the slideshow, we have that single slide. I love this theme because it gives you options for both images and videos. So let's go ahead and select the video. As you can see, it's just a 10-second video. You can have even shorter videos in this. I would highly recommend that because it will make the site load a lot faster. Now, in terms of it just has a single headline. So run, surf, hike, train, chill. So we're gonna go ahead and replace that headline here. We're also gonna get rid of the sub headlines since we don't have any. And then call to action, it only gives us an option for one. So fortunately, we're gonna do just new arrivals. Perfect. Now, yeah, we definitely want to be able to link the new arrivals collection right within here. Let's see, the other thing, if this is for your own store, even, yeah, having two call to action buttons is something that we technically don't recommend. It really depends. I think it does kind of make sense for them because they're trying to really personalize that experience, right? When you land here for the first time, but normally we definitely want to have just that one call to action. Also, if you want to go above and beyond with this section, my recommendation, and it depends on the theme, but this one, for example, you can leave the label blank and the whole thing will become clickable, which is what we consider best practice there. But then you would have to make sure that some kind of button graphic is embedded within the video. So you have to go to like Canva or maybe Premiere, After Effects, and put that button on this video so that it looks like there is an actual place for you to click on this video. You definitely want to make sure that that's something that it's inherently clear for the customer that this is something that you can actually click on and move on to the next page. So let's go on to the next section here. So looks like we have popular categories outlined here. We have a slider. Don't know that we have a slider necessarily here, but we do have what we call a collection list. Let me just double check just to see if there's any other additional. Let's just type in collection. And sometimes, you know, there may be some different options. So this is a feature collection. So these are just products, not necessarily collection list. And then we have pills. Okay, so these are just buttons. So really the one that's closest would be the collection list, what we already have set up here. So let's go ahead and use this. Now, in terms of the headline, it's gonna be popular categories. So let's go ahead and do that here. And then for each of these collections, we just have to make sure that we do each of these. So we got Men's Sunday collection. I guess for this, we'll have to make sure that, yeah, these collections are created here. So let's go ahead and do that. The beauty about this theme is also, we have the option to either use the image within this collection or upload our own. So we can do Men's Sunday collection. So just created one. Let's just see how this looks over here real quick before we keep moving forward. So let's refresh this page. Okay, so image is a little bit blurry, so it may be that I just have a lower quality version, but let's see if we can actually get it to show correctly and not on a square. So let's see our options here. Image size, here we go. Portrait, 3:4. Let's do a taller portrait. Does that, no? I think the shorter one works. 3:4, and Sunday collection. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna spit this process out, but I'm gonna do the next two. Boom, there you have it. So now we have that collection list in here with the Men's Sunday, Women's Brief Interlock, and Men's Outerwear. Let's move on to the next section here. So what we're doing here is highlighting new arrivals. And then we have, again, two call to action buttons. We'll see if we have the option to do these two call to action buttons, but we can definitely highlight some new arrival products. So let's go ahead, and this will be technically this next section right here. A featured collection is really what we want. So let's see what we have. I love this theme. So it gives you the option to do an actual collection, or you can actually hand pick actual products. So you don't have to go in the back end and actually select or create a collection. So you can just go in here and just very quickly grab a couple of products in here. So let's just go ahead and do these two for now. Instead of feature products, we definitely want to call this new arrivals. Let's see what options we have in terms of call to action. posts. So it looks like, yeah, only one URL. So one actual link, and then that would be to view all. So yeah, with this theme in particular, what we can do is actually just send them to that one place that you want to take them. Now, if you ever run into a limitation like that for a theme like this, then I think the next best thing that you can do for this would be just to have a women's new arrivals and then just right underneath men's new arrivals, just so you can highlight and basically share, right, some of these products. I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with having just multiple sections showcasing and highlighting products here on the homepage. Hey, if you're liking this content so far, please consider liking and subscribing to our channel. We release new videos twice a week. Now we have a section to into the new. So this is the water's waiting for you, jump in with stylish swimwear. So this is really more of highlighting the swimwear. Okay, we're good. So this may be a very simple just image with text section. So let's see what we have available here. Actually, we have the image with text just right underneath. So let me just see what other options we have with this theme. Let's do image. So we have hotspots, we got shoppable image with text, we have before and after, and an overlay. So yeah, I do believe the image with text is really going to be the best option to recreate this with this theme. Now, if we go to image with text, this usually has the option to move around the position, so we can actually have the image on the right place. Now, let's go ahead and select the image here. All right, so there we have the image, and then we have to do into the new. Let's copy this. Do subheading. We don't need a subheading for this. Let's paste the paragraph info in here. Button, shop aqua triangle top. Now the beauty of this section is that we should be able to technically add another call to action. Excellent. And let's call it shop women's swim. Obviously we have to link up those collections, but we don't have those set up right now. Let's see if outline, that looks a little bit more similar. Yeah, there we go. Outline buttons, which not a huge fan because it's kind of hard to see. And then let's do into, is that right? Into the new? Into the new. Perfect. Now let's see if we have any options to make this image bigger. I don't know. Looks like image width. Does it look like, yeah, it is. So, I mean, if we want to keep it a little bit closer to what we see over there, then yeah, we can make this a little bit bigger. And then portrait, there we go, CA65. That's a little bit closer to what we see on their actual site. Beautiful. Now let's move on to the next section. These are must-haves. So again, this is another great collection to have, collection of products, right? We have new arrivals towards the top, and then we have, this is like bestsellers, really. This is really what we're doing here. So what I'm gonna do, and this is something that you can do for yourself, if you've already maybe manipulated this section and maybe you changed, you know, some of the settings in here, you had it just right, then something that you can very easily do is you can toggle this, the activate inspector, and what we can do here is we can duplicate this section very easily, and it will just completely redo it right here. And then all we want you to do is move it down here, and then we're just renaming this to must-haves. And I don't have all these products necessarily added to this test store, so I'm gonna just leave these two for now, but this gives you an idea of really, you know, what this will look like. Now, if we keep moving down further, we have this section right here, which is interesting. But as we saw earlier, we have the opportunity to do something like this. So let's see what's available. So let's go ahead and do, I'm just gonna minimize these so I can kind of see a little bit better. We're going to add an image, and there was a image with text overlay. Yeah, this is really what we want to use. We're gonna put this right here. Let's select the image. Okay, you don't have to show this, Marvy, but some of these images that I save are very bad quality. Now, let's see. Okay, infinite momentum would be the subheading. The way that they have that set up on the original site, they have an additional image on top of this one. So let me see, original image size. We do want it full width. Content position, middle left, there we go. And then let's see what's available within the blocks, because if the blocks have, it does have an icon. Let's see what that looks like. So it's just a very simple image, but we could use that icon as just that Vuori and the signature. Let me just see if this is an image. I don't think, let's just test it out. We're doing this together. Let's just see what happens when we do this. So that was not just that single image. So I don't have the actual asset for it, but I think with that icon, we'll be able to do something like this, where actually, let me just see if I have the logo in white. All right, let's see if this works. I don't know. Oh, it's very, very small. This is the biggest we can do. But hey, that's actually not terrible. It's bad, but it's not terrible. Maybe with some custom CSS, we can make it the actual full width, but I'm actually very proud of that. Okay, let's go on to the next thing. So we just need to grab this text, a fresh new season of colors. Let's just kind of type that for now. Season of color. And then call to action. Looks like we have two again. Shop Infinity Board Short and Shop Men's. Let's add another button. Let's make those outline buttons and then outline. Then how can we make these? Can we do that? Does that fix that? No, it does not. So let's let them filled in for now. But this will probably also, yeah, this is one of those things where it will require a little bit of custom CSS for us to change and manipulate just that specific button. Because anytime that you make any changes here in the back end with your colors, and if you have like maybe a primary button color or secondary button, it's gonna make that change for everywhere on the website. And we just really want to highlight these right here on this particular section. And the way to do that would be through some custom CSS. So I don't have the actual code, but it will look something like this, where you click on the main section of that particular place that you want to make that change. And then right here, you'll see this drop down for custom CSS, where you'll need to know the class name and then what you want to manipulate for that. So just an example here that is being showcased is the heading number 2, a font size of 32. So it's going to target that H2 heading in this section, and it's going to transform it to 32 pixels instead of whatever is set up above. Now, we have that section in here. It doesn't look great, okay? I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't look great, but we have it in here. The next one is trending products. So again, this is just another one of these featured collections. We have that enabled. We're just gonna click duplicate on that, and we're gonna move it down here. And then the title for that one was what? Trending products. Okay, beyond that, all we have is just like, yeah, this section right here. And this will be just a very simple, yeah, actually this section right here. So I'm going to delete this one, this one, this one. So every theme, when you install them, it gives you a bunch of different options and sections that are already pre-built in here, but you don't have to use them. You can actually delete them. I would encourage you to delete them if you're actually not using them, just so you are keeping things a little bit cleaner. So let's do image. This is going to be the image with text overlay, the one that we just technically worked on. Select the image. So this one didn't have a sub headline, but it does have a headline. So we're just really doing some of the same things, right? Doing left. This one is actually, the text looks a little bit lower. So let's see if we can content position, hold on, content position middle left. Oh, that's on mobile, okay. Well, I guess middle, we can do bottom left. Okay, that looks better. Let's save that. Okay, that's about what we have here. And then on the actual footer, they do have the logo again, or I guess a different version of the logo, which is something that we always recommend, right? You want to definitely reinforce the brand anywhere you can. I would say anywhere, because don't go crazy adding your logo everywhere on the site, but navigation and footer, you should always have your logo or a representation of your brand overall, just for that brand recognition. Especially if you're brand new, nobody really knows who you are. Having these symbols or any representation of the brand is going to be important. So looks like we have a combo section. Let's just see these, let's go to the footer group. Let's see this about. So this about doesn't really give us any option for images, so that's a bummer. Let's see inside of the blocks here. We have a text, that's that text, links, okay, that's not good. Let's see what options. You also want to look into the actual main section. Sometimes it may have a thing in there where you can enable images and whatnot. We're gonna get rid of all of these and the language selector. Well, unfortunately, we cannot add a logo to the footer. Again, it's one of those things where you can have the perfect theme, you can have all the perfect things, and then you want to do this one little thing, and then all of a sudden you can't. Now, the good thing about that is that you can always just hire someone to just add that little thing right there. It doesn't really require that much. And to me, like, best thing that you could do is just hire someone to add the option to just do an image within this section right here. So you're not really changing anything or making anything too drastic. You're just really implementing a small change or a small tweak, right, to a particular section here. Hey, if you're interested in us taking care of building your website, just like we're doing right here, right now, for you and your store and your brand, then the Website VIP Day is the plan for you. Check that link in the description below. So there we have it. There we have the homepage rebuilt completely using the Essence theme here on Shopify. We've done a pretty good job of getting all the details in here. By the way, I left testimonials in here as a section because that's something that it's a huge opportunity for them as a brand to showcase some form of social proof here on the homepage. This is something that they're not doing. By the way, this newsletter, this can go. This will be another thing that if you don't have a pop-up, definitely want to make sure that you have something like this. But yeah, testimonials for sure. Social proof needs to be on the website. Even if you're a huge brand like this, just highlighting social proof, highlighting the fact that you have happy customers. Show your customers wearing the product. Like, all those things are going to be super important. Now let's click on the preview so we can see how this looks. Again, not one for one exactly, Vuori, but you get a pretty good idea, a pretty good sense of how easy and accessible it is to create a Shopify store based off of another store, like something as big as Vuori here on using this theme. So pretty straightforward. I hope that this helped you figure out a little bit intricacies and options, right, that you have within a theme. It is a hard decision because sometimes you even have to build out the whole homepage to then find out that there are certain things that you cannot do with this theme, even though you thought that it was perfect for you. Now, I want to make a follow-up video on this build out for you. We have just scratched the surface here with the homepage, and I want you to comment down below. We want the full version, Christian. It's a pretty lengthy video, but I want to recreate the collection page, the product page, and just the rest of the pages so you know what to do for those pages. Now, I do want to have this disclaimer is we're not recreating this so that you can actually go on and try to dupe people into thinking that you are Vuori when you're not. I do want to make that very clear. This is just for educational purposes so that you know the intricacies of what it takes to build a website like this. So Vuori, we're sorry, but it's just your good brand, good website. So I wanted to have something tangible for them to see.